Hello friends, Chris here, CaribbeanPot.com. Welcome to my kitchen. Today we have something exciting going on here as usual. If it's your first time here, click subscribe below. All the latest videos are going to be sent to you. You'll be happy for that. And look what I've got going here. I got some Jamaican Callaloo kind of soup going on here. I've got some beans draining. Well, it's canned beans we're using today. And look at my little friend. Scotch bonnet pepper was used. So yeah, there's all kind of flavor going on in here. Let's make a wonderful bean callaloo, Jamaican callaloo soup. Hey, you're gonna love it. Here we go. I've got my deep sort of saucepan here. It's like a soup pot more than anything else, smaller than what I usually use. And I have it on a medium-high heat. We're gonna be using some coconut oil in this. And guys, I'm not gonna show you the label. They don't pay me enough for this. You're gonna notice it's gonna be sort of like butter. It's not going to be runny like your ordinary coconut oil. If it's in the warm, it will be runny. This is what we call when the coconut oil is like this. We say the oil is sleeping. It just means it's cold and it's taking a different texture. So in goes a couple tablespoons of that, and we just want to quickly let that melt in that nice warm pot here. It's only going to take maybe a second or two, and right away I'm going to go in one fairly large onion diced up, as well as 2 scallions that I diced up finely. Just going to turn my heat down to low now because we want this to sort of sweat down and release all those flavors. We're building a ton of flavor here. Right away I'm going to go in with about a tablespoon of finely chopped fresh thyme. I've got some parsley here, a couple tablespoons of parsley, and you can already smell that wickedness coming out of that pot. It is smelling good in this kitchen. The final little, well, we've got 5 cloves of garlic, and all I did was I smashed them with the back of my knife. Nothing too fancy, nothing too chopped up, not a lot of work. And the final thing is piece of a scotch bonnet pepper. This is a green one, and I took the bottom end off. I cut it off because that's here. It's gonna have a lot of flavor and not as much heat. The inside here, and we've talked about this before, the inside where the seeds are and stuff like that. Please, if you can't handle the heat, the fire, the vibe from Caribbean Sunshine, don't mess around with that stuff there. Just about a quarter of that scotch bonnet pepper. I'm gonna give this a stir and let that sweat down for about 2-3 minutes because we want all that flavor to build up there. Final thing, wash your hands after using scotch bonnet peppers. Soap and water, or you're going to run into some problems. Hey guys, so this is like a version of the Jamaican Callaloo in Trinidad and Tobago. We call it chorai bhaji or wild spinach. Nice tender stems, as you can see. All I had it soaking in water here. I'm just going to chop it up now, drain it. You really want to wash it good, drain it, and then we're going to chop it up to add to the soup. Next up, we've got to sort of trim the Jamaican Callaloo. We call it chorai bhaji or spinach on some of the other islands in Jamaica. They call it Callaloo. And nice tender stems. We're going to be using all of that. And I'm just going to give it a rough chop, about 1 centimeter thick. And as you can see, we've got some nice shredded leaves there. That's going to go into the pot in a couple seconds. We're going to go in now with some fresh ground black pepper. Give it a nice dose of that pepper. That's going to really bring out some wonderful flavors. Salt. For 3/4 teaspoon of salt. Later on we can adjust this. And right away what we're going to do is add the chopped up callaloo in there now. It will seem like a lot, but trust me, it will wilt down. And we're using 8 cups of chopped callaloo in here. Give that a quick stir and let that cook away gently. In the event you've never worked with sweet potatoes before, this is a nice red skin variety. They're all different types of variety, but here I've got 1 sweet potato, and all you're gonna do, treat it as you would treat any other potato, like a normal baked potato or whatever. And all you would do, using a paring knife like in my case here, or a potato peeler, remove the outer skin, give it a wash after you're done peeling it, and cube it up into 1-inch cubes. The same we're going to be doing for 2 small potatoes as well. It's been going now for about 4 minutes while I peeled and diced up the potatoes. If you're looking for all the ingredients that I'm going to be using here today, in the description of the video I will put everything on there so you don't have to fret. Everything's going to be there. So in goes the sweet potato, as well as I use some Yukon Gold potatoes here. You can use any sort of bacon potato, anything, whatever potato you like using. Just regular potatoes. Give that a quick stir. If you don't have access to Jamaican Callaloo, what I would recommend using is Swiss chard. So one other thing I gotta put in here, I've got 3 cups of chicken stock. If you want to keep this vegetarian, you can certainly use vegetable stock. Give this a quick stir, and this variety of the Jamaican Callaloo I have here has a sort of a reddish tinge to the stems, and this is where that sort of reddish color that you're seeing is coming from. I'm going to turn my heat up. All this while my heat was on low. I'm going to turn that up now and bring it up to a boil. I thought I'd quickly show you guys how I drain and rinse my beans. All I have here is my sort of drainer, and all I do, and this is the mixed beans that we're using here, and all you're going to do is rinse it, give it a little toss, and rinse it again. All that grime and sort of heavy sodium that it's packed in will be removed. All I would do now, put it back on the can and let that drain. The soup is now starting to come up to boil. I can see little bubbles on the outside. I'm just going to give that a quick stir, and we're going to add 1 can of a 6 bean medley. So all you would do, and I'll show you how to do that, we'll drain it, wash it, and that's going to go in there. Give that a quick stir. The soup is becoming nice and rich, all kind of lovely, good, wholesome stuff in there, healthy for days. Bring that up to a boil, put the lid on it, and let that simmer away on a low heat at that point for 25 to 30 minutes. It's been going now for about half an hour. Just going to give that a quick stir. This is where you're going to taste it for salt as well. Beautiful. Adjust the salt according to your taste. This here is done. So one final step I'm going to do to this, and that is I'm going to turn off the heat, and I want, because it's sort of a clear broth, I want to thicken this up a little bit more. So what I'm going to do, I've got, and this is totally up to you. If this is the way you like your soup, certainly go for it. It is amazing as it is. I've got my immersion blender here, and I'm just going to blitz that a few times because I still want texture, but I want different types of texture. And that's it right about there. Give it a quick stir because you want all that loveliness. Oh, look at that. Some nice coconut bread or something, boy, you're good to go. I'm just gonna plate this up and I'm gonna have me some lunch. You're gonna love it. The Calaloo bean soup is done. Your boy's smiling. It is gonna be a nice lunch today. The flavors from that, boy, and it's nice and healthy for you. Remember, if you want to do this vegetarian, use vegetarian stock instead of the chicken stock that I used, and you're good to go. Chris here, CaribbeanPod.com. Don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to tell your friends about CaribbeanPod.com, and remember to check out my latest cookbook on CaribbeanPod.com. Have a great day and give this recipe a try.